The woman threw away the man's engagement ring, removed her SIM card, and decisively boarded a flight overseas. At first the man thought she was just being emotional, but when she failed to show up at their wedding, he finally realized she had truly left him. Ignoring his assistant's attempts to stop him, he rushed home in a panic. Seeing her 3 pairs of shoes still at the door, he breathed a sigh of relief, thinking she couldn't bear to leave after all. But when he entered the bedroom, he saw all her belongings were gone. Panic set in instantly. Unable to accept the truth, he rushed to the airport hoping to catch her, but he forgot this was all his own doing. Just 3 days ago, the woman had been out drinking for his business deals, but while she bled from a stomach ulcer, he was flirting with his assistant nearby. When she refused to drink more due to her condition, he coldly accused her of failing to support his work and letting personal matters interfere with business. The assistant then hypocritically offered to drink for her, and the man immediately showed concern for her health, saying she was too weak for alcohol. That night the woman drank heavily in silence. When she finally dragged herself out of the private room, the man carried the dizzy assistant away without even glancing back. She watched them leave, heartbroken. She couldn't remember when he had become so heartless. They had been together for 8 years, built a company from scratch, and even named it after her. At the time she was deeply moved by his actions, and willingly gave everything to support him. Even when drinking for business led to a perforated stomach, she never complained. All she ever wanted was for him to keep his promise and marry her. But the man had slowly become infatuated with his assistant, pushing back their wedding again and again. When the assistant even sent her flirtatious photos, she finally reached her limit. She called her father and agreed to return home and marry her arranged fiancé. When she returned home, she found the assistant had already moved in. Faced with their explanations, she didn't even bother to respond. Though the place was full of beautiful memories, none of it mattered to her anymore. She started heading upstairs to rest, but the man showed no guilt. He even asked her to make porridge for the assistant's stomach. She refused by saying she wasn't feeling well. The man glanced at her medical report and shrugged it off, then carried the assistant into their bedroom. Just then her fiancé called, asking if she was sure about their marriage. Thinking of how the man had just treated her, she became even more determined to leave, and told him she had already booked her flight for the day after tomorrow. The man remained clueless. The next morning when the woman came downstairs, she saw the man happily making breakfast for the assistant. The assistant's sweet words made him grin from ear to ear. When the woman picked up some food from the table, she realized it was the assistant's leftovers. Then she saw the man's suit jacket on the assistant's bed. He quickly explained that the assistant was scared last night, so he stayed to comfort her, and insisted he had only slept on the floor, telling her not to overthink it. But the woman didn't care anymore. She turned to leave. The man grabbed her hand and gave her a gift to apologize, saying the wedding would still happen as planned tomorrow, and asking her not to throw another tantrum. Seeing she remained expressionless, he added they would register for marriage right after the ceremony. The woman nodded without saying much, but the man had no idea that tomorrow was actually her wedding with her fiancé. Later the woman said she was going to the mall. The man offered to drive her, but when it was time to get in the car, the assistant fought with her for the front seat. After they got in, the assistant loudly complained that her necklace was missing. The man immediately gave his card to the woman and told her to get a taxi instead.